What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is, excuse me, this is your Freelance Friday going into your Saturday morning. Um, man, when it rains, it pours for the Indiana Fever. And this game between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun, I'm just going to put it out there. It was really a hard game to watch. Um, like I said, when it rains, it pours. I was on a live stream with a fellow another YouTuber, Nicole Marie. If you catch the live, you know who I'm talking about, and you could always follow her. Go ahead and subscribe to her channel and give her a like and a comment as well. But nevertheless, the Indiana Fever can't catch a break. When I say they can't catch a break, they can't catch a break. A lot of things in this game was wrong. Some things went right. Some things went. It just seemed like ever since Caitlin Clark went down, it seemed like this team is imploding all over the place. The only people on this team seems to like really want to win is Aaliyah Boston, DeWanna Bonner, Lexi Hall, Sophie Cunningham, and probably the rest on the bench. I don't see Natasha Howard. I don't see Kelsey Mitchell wanting to win, have the will, the heart to win, play constructive basketball, play within the system, play as a coach. If I was a coach and I had a game plan and I see my players playing out of position, I would bench them. Now, one thing I'm gonna go back last year, Kelsey Mitchell got benched with Christy Size. She got benched when she played bad, and it straightened her out. I think Stephanie White don't want to ruffle any feathers, and that's why she's probably hesitant to do certain things. But you've been in this organization before, and if Kelsey Mitchell's playing bad, you got to sit her down. And then again, I understand you don't have a replacement for her either if you settle down, because now that Caitlin's out, you got to rely on her more than ever, and you already see that the pressure is too much for her. The Indiana Fever was losing by 15 points in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. They did rally. They rallied back. Leo Boston got into foul trouble. Don't know why the refs are nailing her with fouls, especially over Nelson Ododa. Tina Charles was getting fouls. Going to the line, she was 7 for 16 from the field. Nelson Ododa was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Tina Charles was 3 for 4. Sanaya Rivers was 3 for 4 for the free throw line. She was knocking out shots. Mabry went off. Seemed like we ain't had no answer for Marina Mabry. A team that really doesn't have that much on there. And we can't stop. We couldn't stop them. Howard, 4 for 9 from the field. 9 points. And every time she's on the floor, it seems like she crowds the paint of Aaliyah Boston. It reminds me so much when Nalissa Smith was there. I mean, it's the same thing. One just older. You don't have Aaliyah Boston doesn't need to be crowded in the paint. She needs a person that can stretch the floor. Now, me and Nicole, we was talking on live. We was saying that why not try Dantas in the starting lineup in that spot? Sit Howard down. I think Howard needs to be benched, to be honest with you. She doesn't provide anything. She can't handle the ball. She can't dribble up the court. She literally turns the ball over. She had 3 turnovers this game. Mitchell had 3 turnovers this game. Bonner had 3 turnovers, but she had 13 points. And she provided a whole lot. She had 2 steals, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. She was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She was 3 for 5 for 3. She caught fire, and then she from her slow start, but she provided a lot. Her turnovers was was pretty much. Lexi Hall does what Lexi Hall does. She had 12 points. She caught fire. She was 2 for 2 for 3 point line, 5 for 8 from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Mitchell, 13 points, 0 for 4 from 3. And then, not only that, 0 for 4 for 3, then the last play of the game for them, they was down. They needed 2 points or 3 to win. And then the play was designed as a read and react play. And they had 3 choices to get the ball in to Boston DB. Then they had a top of the key where Lexi Hall curled around to the top of the key. You could have got it to her. But then they give it to Mitchell, who should have been the last option. I would never gave it to Mitchell. I would have fined either Lexi or DB for the last shot. DB was already hot. Lexi was already hot. Why you didn't find the last shot for them? But nonetheless, this ain't this not even the top of the iceberg right now. The Indiana Fever end up losing Sydney Colson. Not only her, we end up losing Sophie Cunningham at the same time. We losing Sophie Cunningham and Sid Colston. Sid Colston went down with a leg injury. Sophie Cunningham tweaked her ankle again, re-injured her ankle again with 6 minutes and left in the game. And guess who was the person on both of them injuries? JC Shelton. JC Shelton was on there. I understand being aggressive and everything, but you diving and landing on another player, you colliding with another player, cause a player to twist their ankle. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna show you both plays in this slide real quick.
JC Sheldon diving on the ground for the ball. It's a hustle play right here. Looks like it's involving her left leg.
Ball kind of as a combo guard.
And Sophie Cunningham is down holding her, it looks like her ankle.
And they will play here.
Cunningham has been dealing with that ankle.
Well, if you're Indiana here, this has just been...
So you get to see both plays, plays of both of the injured players. Me personally, yeah, one was a hustle play, but you could hustle while trying to be over aggressive to be injured. With that being said, we don't even know the extent of neither one of these injuries now, because we already got Caitlin Clark out. Caitlin Clark might not be back until the end of the month. She might not be back till the end of June. Sophie Cunningham might be out a extended period of time with that ankle injury now. We already know she was dealing with that from the beginning of the season, preseason, and came back within 2 to 3 games later. Sid Colson, we don't know. They say that she has a leg injury. It could be a sprained knee, could be whatever the case may be, but she might not be back. She might be out for some weeks. Now the Indiana Fever has no point guard. no backup point guard, nobody that can handle the ball efficiently, nobody on the Fever that you could trust to handle the ball efficiently. DeWanna Bonner, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, Bree Turner, Michaela Tipson. Now I might be missing somebody. Damaris Dantas. That's 8 players you have. You're supposed to have 12 on your team, and you're down 4 players. You're down 3 players in a roster spot. 3 players in a roster spot. You down. Now I was hopeful for them to win this game. I think, and when Sid went down, it seemed like it took the air out of the team because the team started playing erratic all over the place. And when I tell you, I would have benched Natasha Howard. Me personally, I would have benched her. Then you allow Nelson Adota to come in the game and just out hustle Aaliyah Boston, get her in foul trouble. Natasha Howard wasn't even helping Aaliyah Boston, guard her man, Tina Charles. I'd rather have Aaliyah Boston on Tina Charles. When you had Nelson Adota on Natasha Howard guarding her, she's getting easy buckets. Then you finally put Bree Turner in the game that did an excellent job on Adota because you match height with height. You match length with length. You could have put Michaela Tipson in the game to be on Marina Mabry, make her give up the ball. Or you could have put Tipson in the game to put on Shania Rivers. That would have neutralized all of them 3-point shots. There was many ways that you could measure, but you keep going back to Natasha Howard. You keep going back to Natasha Howard, who's continued to play bad. You kept going back to Kelsey Mitchell, who continued to play bad. Could continue to play bad. She's been playing bad ever since the Chicago game. No more matter of fact, the Atlanta game, the first Atlanta game, where they lost by 1. She hasn't played great since. She's not even averaging 17 points a game. I'm not sure. Team stats. The Fever shot 49% from the field, where Connecticut shot 51. 3-point, we had 7. We were 7 for 17 for 3-point line. They was 10 for 20. They shot 50%. We shot 41%. Now we was at 23%, 22% at halftime. Free throw line, they was 13 for 15. We was 18 for 21. Granted, it seemed like there was some calls that should have been made or shouldn't been made. And this is what I was saying in the live. The calls that they should call, they don't call. But the calls they would that don't need to be called, they call them. And it seemed like they just tried to pile up fouls all over the Indiana Fever early on in the game. It's just like if the Fever leading a team or beating a team, it's like, okay, let me blow the whistle to put this other team back in the game. And they start going to the foul line. Then the whole rhythm of the Indiana Fever just go to crap. Now for the free throw percentage, we was 85% from the free throw line. And I keep saying this to y'all. I said this the last post game that I did. If Caitlin Clark was in this game, we wouldn't have got it. We wouldn't have get these fouls like that. We hitting our foul shots. They was 86%. We was 85. Rebounds, 25 apiece. Assists, we had 20, they had 19. Steals, we had 8, they had 9. Block shots, 2 apiece. Turnovers, we had 15 turnovers, they had 19, and we couldn't even capitalize on 4 more turnovers that they had. And guess what? Points over turnovers. We had 30 points over turnovers, and they had 24. Fast break points, this is where they killed us at. 12-4. 12-4. Points in the paint. 44 points in the paint to their 30. We've been killing teams with points in the paint. But you know what the main thing about it is? We don't stay consistent. Aaliyah Boston getting points in the paint. Everybody is getting points in the paint. But we don't stay consistent at all when it comes to that stuff. Fouls. They had 21, we had 19. And you would think with us being ahead in some of these categories, we should win the game. The largest lead they had was 15. And that was going in the middle of the third to the fourth. We cut it down. The largest lead we had was 8, and that was back in the beginning of the game. I'm gonna let y'all listen to Stephanie White. Scott Angus does an excellent job. Shout out to him all the time. Him and Chloe Peterson. I got to give both of them a shout out. Um, Stephanie White talked about the game, and then DeWanna Bonner and Aaliyah Boston. Take a listen.
Injuries? No update yet. Wait to hear from our training staff about where we are right now. But no, Sid was in the locker room. I didn't see Sophie after the game. There's no question. We're hitting adversity right now. Like it's challenging, and it's still a great opportunity for us because it's not going to be perfect. It's early enough in the season that we've got a chance to really, I think, find a gut check moment, right? And who we're going to be through adversity. And I think our team battled. We just didn't have enough at the end.
It's better to happen now and then later on in the year because we're still so early and we can still figure it out and adjust to it because losing bodies like that at the end of the year is really hard to adjust, especially when you're in a rhythm. But good thing we're not in a rhythm right now. So still figuring it out. So it's just nice. It's just going back to just keep starting over every day. So that's kind of where we are. But I don't think it's deflated. It's basketball. We know how we can shift our mindset.
I'm gonna give DB a lot of credit, man, because the fact of the matter is, she's a veteran, and she's keeping level-headed, and she understands this. She's been through it. She done been in the league, 17 years. She understands this, and I know that when she came to the Indiana Fever, she didn't expect it to go this way, because they all had high hopes for this team. But I know she didn't expect for it to go off the rails like this. And like she said, it is early in the season. It's 6 games into the season. But now you have major injuries to some key components to this team, especially Caitlin. And guess what? Now you're gonna have to go to hardship contracts because you don't know the stint. By tomorrow, we should know the extent of injuries for Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham. I said this when Caitlin Clark got injured. When they said Caitlin Clark was out for 2 weeks, I said the first thing they needed to do is go to get a hardship contract for 10 days to have a point guard on the team. Call me crazy. Now look at you. You're not suffering from one person. Now you got 2 down. And they could be out for a significant time. Now you have to get hardship help for this team. We was talking on live that the Indiana Fever really should have went after the big. I would not have went for Natasha Howard. I would have went for Brianna Jones or Tina Charles. Them two was available. We could have got them. You could have Stephanie White could have convinced Brianna Jones to take less money. You could have had a front court with Boston and Bree Jones, just like they did have in Atlanta. Because Leah Boston could have played more outside, pick and roll, and pass to Bree. That would have been better. You would have had DeWanna Bonner and Bree starting. That would have been more easier for Caitlin Clark to distribute the ball. Killing it. That would have been a great lineup. But nevertheless, we can't cry over spilled milk now because what it is. Everybody's crashing out right now. Me personally, I've been through it. I've seen it from all of my sports teams. My Atlanta Braves, my Washington Commanders, my Miami Hurricanes. I've been through it all with all of my teams. This ain't nothing new to me either with the Indiana Fever. It's a long season, guys. Long season. But I could tell you this, the Fever won't win another game. The next 5 games they will lose. And I'm here to tell you the truth because you know how I roll, you know how I am in my content. They not gonna win the next 5 games before Caitlin comes back. Now it depends on who they pick up to replace Colston and Cunningham. That could change. But right now, if they don't pick up viable pieces that could really give this team a punch, because being honest with you, even with Caitlin, this team was not going to win. Not the way they play. They don't play constructive ball. You need people that understands playing constructive ball. You need to take the ball out of, and as much as we have been on AB case for the on rivals situation, she has been playing what pretty decent these last few games. She has some up and down games, but she has been playing a little bit better. I just want her to be able to play better in the post, and that's what her struggle is. And she's not strong down there. Damaris Dantas is stronger than her down there. To be honest with you, Damaris Dantas is stronger down low than Aaliyah Boston. Now, I don't know if they're gonna start her over Howard because Howard's contract is protected. But me personally, I wouldn't even care. I would try everything possible. Stephanie White got to quit sticking to bad players that play bad. I understand Kelsey Mitchell, you can't sit her too long, but when you have Sophie, DB, Lexi, Aaliyah out there, and Dantas, you you look more good. But as soon as you bring in, and the thing about it is, when Bree Turner came in the game to play against Adota, and she was playing well and getting rebounds, and they was running up the court. As soon as you took a timeout, took Turner out the game and put Natasha Howard back in. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Natasha Howard she every time she gets in, she can't dribble. These players do not know how to dribble with their head up. They dribble with their head down. They don't have control of the ball when they dribble. It's like the ball gets away from them and it's like a tennis ball. Like they trying to control it to keep it in place. It's awful. It's really awful. So, all right, guys. So, like I said, man, I'm definitely gonna bring some updates for y'all tomorrow. Um, it depends on the injury situation, see how this rolls with the Indiana Fever. But this game, another game they could have won. They really could have won this game. Don't know if it's just it's not good right now. And everything looking bad. People is calling out the front office, people is calling out the coaching. But you know what? At the end of the day, if we was winning, if we was undefeated, we'll be singing a whole different tune right now, to be honest with you. So again, like I said, I'm going to say what I see, but I'm not just going to be, you know, crucifying every person. Yeah, you play bad. Yeah, you coach bad. Yeah, I'm calling you out. To have have coaches replacing place and all that. I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing all of that. But I could tell certain players don't need to have the ball in their hands. Certain players don't need to be on the floor with certain people. Kelsey Mitchell and Natasha Howard do not need to be on the floor together because you have two bad shot makers. I don't even know what's going on with Kelsey Mitchell. And like I said, I think it's her hand that is really the problem. Because she hasn't been on, or she just don't care. Because if that's the case, that she has this don't care attitude, because she was, even with Caitlin Clark on the floor, she was playing this way. She was really playing that way. I don't know what her mentality is. She looks frustrated. She can't get her shot. But guess what? You decided to go overseas and play the whole summer. Now you probably burnt out. To be honest, you probably burnt out. So we have to see, man. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This is Live Wire Sports Media. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and this is your Saturday vibe roll. But you know what it is, man. Because if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.